Right, welcome back. As I said, this series of videos are going to be things that I really enjoy. So I'm going to be pulling out some of my favourite bits and pieces and just sort of giving you a run through about specifically what I enjoy and maybe what makes them a little bit special. I'd like to start with Rutile Quartz. Now, and again, what this mineral is, I know a lot of the times the black is black tourmaline. You can get copper. So rutilated means these straight lines growing through this clear quartz. You'll notice as I'm spinning this one around, you get a lot of fracturing inside the quartz. They call it rainbows. You'll notice you'll see black, orange, comes in quite a variety of colours, so very, very popular, very expensive too for decent pieces. So these are just little spheres that I have. I picked them because they show a variety of the colours. Black tourmaline probably being the most common one I've seen, and then the gold and these reddy, brassy sort of colours. Beautiful material. Highly prized in Asia. Very expensive, especially to the high-end stuff. I'll just wait for that to focus. This is a really good one. Now, I've never really sold these. A lot of the ones that I've given away as gifts for people. I have a lot of things where the value to sell them just doesn't justify having them. And I'd rather them go to people that appreciate it. I know that sounds a little bit silly, but you know, for me to charge, I don't know, $10 or $12 or whatever it is for this, yeah, I'd rather give it to someone who gets excited by them. So that's rutilated. Now, then you see the traditional gold rutilated. You'll see what looks like it isn't gold. Chances are it'll be a copper of some description. You can see it grows in fan patterns. You can see, maybe if I close that off there, it's not unusual to get a splayed pattern. This is a half decent piece. I'm not particularly fond of the carving. In this case, the carving's not as important as the material. This is, I think, a pretty good example of a small piece of rutilated. You can get some astounding pieces. Right. So that being rutilated quartz, what I really enjoy and what you don't see very often is this is a completely natural terminated clear quartz with that same rutilation through it. So this hasn't been cleaned. You can see it's broken through there. This is its natural point. Is it the prettiest thing in the world? No. But I prefer that over any of those other pieces. This is how it was pulled out of the ground. There would have been another twin growing there. When you see these little shapes, these little lines, see how that's fairly straight? There would have been another crystal growing there. You can see there's even rutilation down through there, so there might have been one laying a twin across there. I don't see these very often. I've managed to pick a few of these up in the last year or so. I don't have a lot left. Again, I tend not to sell these. I recently gave one to a customer who I buggered up their order. They purchased some from me and I'd forgotten to include one item, so they came to my house to pick it up. So I gifted them with one of these pieces as a thank you and an appreciation for their understanding. Again, I don't often sell these because I can't replace these. So something like this means more to me than the dollar value. Not because it's a spectacular piece. You can get some stunning pieces, but it's very, very hard to find in its natural. So rutilated quartz is one of my favorites, and rutilated quartz in a completely natural environment like this is definitely one of my favorites.